Dallas Sidekicks Indoor Soccer on TV33 is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Steve Kruzmark and Associates at Angel & Associates, representing the leader in low-cost life and disability insurance, The Quiet Company. By Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper, both with that great, out-of-the-ordinary taste. And by your Dallas-Fort Worth Chrysler Plymouth dealers, where we don't want to be the biggest, just the best.
This was Reunion Arena in Dallas, the last time the Sidekicks played the Strikers. See that foul? It happened in the first 10 seconds of the game. It put Tattoo on the sidelines for 3 games. It left a half dozen players suspended on the 2 teams. And who knows if it's created some bad blood for tonight's meeting between the Dallas Sidekicks and the Minnesota Strikers at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Sham with Kyle Rote, Jr. We're happy you joined us tonight. We're looking forward to an outstanding game, which has implications in the standings that we'll get to in a moment. But, Kyle, I'm really anxious to see if these teams are a little mad at each other from February 25th.
Well, anytime Ken Fogarty kicks a player like he did Tattoo in that situation, initially, I don't think Dallas realized that Tattoo would miss the rest of the game. As the game proceeded on and as the frustration began to build, the players on the Dallas Sidekicks bench began to say, hey, wait a minute, Fogarty really meant to do that. That was an intentional foul. And then we saw the retribution of Caskey and, of course, Victor Moreland going after Ken Fogarty a little bit later on. Here was one reason why that Moreland and Caskey went after Fogarty, because after Fogarty knocked Tattoo down, here's the wave that theoretically was made to the bench to signify, guys, I did the job you asked me to do. Tattoo is out of the game. And, of course, ultimately it caused a lot of other bitter feelings.
Well, that's certainly what the Sidekicks took from it, and they sent the films to the league office, and that's just kind of icing on the cake for what we have tonight, because if you look at the standings in the Major Indoor Soccer League's Eastern Division in the last week of the regular season, Kyle, we can see that the Sidekicks are playing for first place tonight, but so are the Strikers.
Well, 2 things. Minnesota, if they win tonight, their magic number is 1, so they are guaranteed a playoff spot. If they don't, they could still theoretically not make the playoffs. For Dallas, the importance is not only in the standings, but it's also in the bank account, because in the MISL, if you finish first or second, naturally you get to host more games than you do if you're finishing 3rd and 4th. And, of course, that would bode very well for the Sidekicks and being able to draw more people to Reunion and, of course, help them financially.
The Sidekicks know they'll have a playoff game at Reunion Arena on April 16th. They don't know against whom, and they don't know whether it'll be the 3rd game in a series or the first of 2 at home or what. But it's clear that the Sidekicks are in a position to do more, in fact already have, this season than a lot of people would have expected.
Well, it's one of those situations in sports where you're just happy to survive. The Sidekicks have done so much more than survive. They've really thrived this year and shown that they can compete with anybody in the league.
And who knows, the best probably yet to come. And we ought to have a dandy tonight between the Sidekicks and the Strikers when we return to the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, right after this.
This Bud's for all that you do. Somehow you always come through. You keep it going. Your pride's really showing. Nobody shines like you. Yeah, you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Orville, why would aliens want to land here?
To find intelligent life forms.
But when? It's there!
We seek intelligent life forms.
We're all packed. Diet Cola?
Diet Cola.
We may see other life forms when Halley's Comet reaches perihelion.
And this diet, Dr. Pepper, is extraordinary.
We're all waiting for the fabulous Suzanne, but I know she'll choose me and my Chrysler LeBaron GTS. Comparably equipped, it costs $189 less than Pontiac 6000, $571 less than old Sierra, $651 less than Buick Century. That buys a lot of roses. And GTS is the only one with a 550 protection plan, an optional turbo, and a liftback big enough for Suzanne's pussycat.
Now get 8.6% financing or $500 or $1,000 cash back on GTS.
There's the colorful Tino Lettieri, the Minnesota Strikers goalkeeper. Sans Parrot in the net. They don't let him keep Ozzy 2 anymore. There's Chris Sobieski, the MISL's leading goalkeeper in terms of games won. And before we get started, let me correct something I said a moment ago. As we get started, I said the last game between these teams left a half dozen players suspended. And I didn't mean suspended, I meant fined. There was a question.
You suspended the balance,
money,
the balance in their bank accounts. That's right.
There was a question of some suspension, and certainly the Sidekicks felt that Ken Fogarty should have been, and this is Fogarty right here with this kick in. But at any rate, there were half a dozen fines handed out. I talked to some of the Sidekicks players this afternoon. They didn't think, at least in talking about it out loud, Kyle, that it would have a lingering carryover effect from that game in February. They thought it would be just kind of, let's get on with the business at hand because there's so much at stake in terms of the playoffs. Now, you played, and here in a minute, I want to find out what you think. They're putting a little pressure on Sobieski here, but the Sidekicks are trying to give him some breathing room. Number 2 is Dwight Lodewedges. Fogarty drops it in, looking for David Byrne, number 19, and out now again to Lodewedges, and cleared out by Caskey. As far as DeBrito, and now they'll ask Victor Moreland to get it back to Sobieski and let him redistribute. Now, what about the emotional angle? Is there a carryover?
Well, you remember the first time that the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins had some awkward words. No one thought that would escalate as it ultimately did in the 70s into a very deep rivalry. I'm expecting that will also happen here with Minnesota. This will continue to be a dominant rivalry as the career of the Sidekicks goes on.
Early going first quarter, we are scoreless at the Met Center. Tattoo putting a little pressure on Letary, and there is no rebound. And Thompson-Usean, who is probably the most dangerous scorer they have, loses it to Tattoo, and the shot is wide on the boards, and Diego Castro can't follow, and Tattoo can't get the open net. And now the ball is poked away from Usean by David Stride. And we have an injured player. It's Tino Letary, the Minnesota Strikers goalkeeper. And they'll call the trainer out from the bench.
Letary has been resilient, third leading goaltender in terms of minutes. And interesting tonight, at least I think, Brad, we can say the top 2 goalkeepers in terms of their importance to their teams this year. You mentioned that Chris Sobieski is number 1 in the MISL in one-loss record with 24-14. Number 2 in the league is Tino Letary.
Let's see what happened a minute ago, first of all, to show you how Letary got hurt. Here's Tattoo.
Diego Castro comes in there on the backside.
Oh, his own teammate got it. Yeah. Fogarty. I guess that's a dangerous lad, Fogarty. Well, let me Tom, if we can rack this thing up, let's show everybody what Tino Letary looks like when he is in better health but happier and unhappier. We mentioned the parrot, Ozzy. He collects parrots. You see, in fact, the logo on his right sleeve. Well, he used to have this parrot that he kept in the net as a kind of a personal mascot. They won't let him do that anymore. But in the game in Reunion Arena, as if the business with Tattoo wasn't enough, look at this little bit of business that happened. They were giving him some problems about the pitch, so he gets thrown out of the game, and he says, yeah, I'm a parrot. You're a parrot.
Of course, he was pointing to the scoreboard there, showing what the Minnesota, of course, was beating Dallas at that point. He received $250 for a very dangerous tackle on Wes McLeod. Got another $250 for that little antic of parrot walk. And so his bank account a little bit lightened.
We are just underway. It's scoreless. 12:57 remaining in the first quarter. We had a momentary stoppage when Letary's teammate Fogarty kicked him in the mouth trying to keep a ball from going into the Strikers' goal. And here's Thompson-Usean with the ball now on a 3-on-3 break. A nice pass to the wing, and Sobieski's able to get out just enough to deflect it. And the Strikers keep the pressure on. It was Greg Thompson's shot that went wide, and this one by Byrne is wide, and a save by Sobieski and a goal on the rebound. And the goal is scored by number 4, Ray Hudson.
Ray Hudson has just come into the starting lineup for the Strikers this late in the season. And what really happened there was that Dallas let the ball go against the boards, did not follow things in, allowed the header to occur, which then set up the deflection to give Hudson an opportunity to shoot on goal.
For Ray Hudson, Kyle mentioned, new into the starting lineup, and therefore only his 4th goal of the season. So it's 1-0 Minnesota. And Caskey operating in front for the Sidekicks, who trail 1-0. Byrne gets the assist at, I think they said 2:25. I'm not sure if that's 2:15, might be more. Anyway, 2:25 is what I think they said. And it's Minnesota 1 and Dallas 0. Hudson is 4th of the year on a rebound and the assist, therefore, to number 19, Byrne. But they gave us 2:35 is the time. That makes sense. Those of you keeping a scorecard with us at home. And this will be a Strikers kick-in. And we will take a break. With 11 minutes, 39 seconds left to play in the first quarter, our score is Minnesota 1 and Dallas 0.
Cola, cola, we need more. We're not happy unless we're bored.
Somebody's got to change things around here.
Silence!
Well, give me your bottleneck. Maybe you should try something different.
There was something different long ago, but where it went, nobody knows! This Dr. Pepper is extraordinary, exquisitary, tastes good.
That man is not the president of the Alan Merrick fan club. Gordon Jago was not terribly amused by some remarks in the St. Paul newspaper today made by Merrick about Tattoo, who actually, it kind of sounded like Merrick might have been trying to left-handedly compliment Tattoo, but he said something to the effect that Tattoo is very artistic at taking a dive and making the officials think that he's been fouled, and that's an especially sensitive area for the Sidekicks since they think Tattoo was so badly fouled, and there he scores, so he doesn't really care what they think. Tattoo with a left foot, one touch, put it right past Letary into the corner, and we are tied at 1-1. And you thought I didn't see it.
Boy. Well, Tattoo in that situation, turning Ken Fogarty, the man who kicked him, in a little justice right here. There's Fogarty right behind him on the mark. It looks not very dangerous, but all of a sudden Tattoo lets it fly to the far post, and Letary is caught at the near post, not even expecting a shot from that far out, nor from that good of coverage by Fogarty.
And as you can see, Tattoo's 49th goal of the year, and the score is 1-1. And here come the Strikers back. You see it out in front. We're going to have a tripping penalty assessed to David Stride. They're going to say he got Jan Gushins, and number 2, David Stride, says, you must be joking.
Well, the reason they're going to give it to Stride is because the tackle came from behind, or at least that's what they're going to say. Here's Goossens going into the attacking zone, and there's the trip from behind. Looked like he got the ball, and if he gets the ball first, you're supposedly supposed to be able to get away with that.
David Stride with a word of opinion for the official.
How much do they pay you if I can read those lips properly?
Well, now the Strikers will get an opportunity to work their power play with 10:58 remaining to be played in the first quarter. Stride, 2 minutes for tripping, and a save by Sobieski right off the bat. So the Sidekicks play a man short, and they get Wes McLeod, Evans, Radwanski, and Mark Carpin onto the field as the penalty-killing unit. 1:40 left on the Dallas penalty, with the game tied at 1 on goals by Hudson for Minnesota and Tattoo for Dallas. Have they given Uremovich an assist on Tattoo's goal at 3:47? We want to make sure we get the scoring thorough. Here is Gushins. The left wing, back out to the point to Tasso Kotsoukas.
Dangerfield, this player has 11 power play goals, 3rd in the league in that category.
Gushins, and it's deflected high, and a save by Sobieski. That's a nice and very difficult save that happened so fast you almost can't see it. Here they come again, broken up by Evans and cleared by Wes McLeod. Letary all the way out to the red line. 9:46 in the first quarter, 46 seconds left on the penalty, and the game is tied at 1. Dallas playing a man short. David Stride carded for tripping, And here's Gushin's the man that he allegedly tripped. Around in front and a goal. I started to say saved by Sobieski, and on the carom, the goal for Minnesota.
Stan Cummins gets the goal for Minnesota. Dallas coming into that power play, number 2 in the league in penalty killing over 70%. Continuing to move up in that category. Minnesota 4th best in the MISL in power play, so 2 strengths of both teams, and there's small, diminutive Stan Cummins, only 5 feet 3 inches tall, with that header to score against Sobieski.
It is Cummins' 18th goal of the year, and it's his 5th against the Sidekicks. He is the leading Minnesota goal scorer against the Sidekicks this season. And it's 2-1 Minnesota on a power play goal by Stan Cummins. This game has a lot of standings implications. We showed you the standings at the beginning. Minnesota coming in a half game behind the Sidekicks and Cleveland, with Cleveland having somewhat surprisingly lost to Chicago last night. But of course, if Minnesota were to win the game, they would leapfrog a half game ahead of the Sidekicks. They have 1 more to play than Dallas. Here is DeBrito getting stripped of the ball near midfield, and Yusian then loses it right back to Mike Uremovich. Kasky's shot is saved by Letary, and Uremovich a little off balance for the attempted rebound.
Good try. Kasky's shot happened to hit the edge of the boards there as the boards goes into the glass, which did not give it a good rebound. There's Mike's good sprinting run to get him in good position off the boards. And here's the bounce right off the edge there of the yellow, and it came up a little bit high for Mike and unfortunately put it up into the crowd.
Another reason this game could have playoff implications is because of the MISL tiebreakers. This is the 6th game between these teams this year, and the Sidekicks have the edge right now 3-2. Now, if they were to finish tied, for instance, the first tiebreaker is record against one another. Well, if the Strikers win the game, it's 3 games each, and you go to the next tiebreaker as Yusian wins the ball on the far boards. The next tiebreaker is goal differential in games against one another. And the goal differential between these teams coming into the game is +7 in the Sidekicks' favor. And that same goal differential would be the reason if Dallas and Cleveland finish tied for first, that the Sidekicks would be the 2nd place team, because, watch out here, dangerous out in front. Moreland keeps it away, but Cummins gets it back going again. Looking in front for Alan Willie, and Sobieski out there to try to poke it away from one of the most dangerous, pardon the pun, strikers in the league. But he really is, even if he didn't play for the Strikers.
Number 1 in goals for Minnesota this year.
Tattoo looking for Kasky on the wing. Kasky evades the trip. Centering pass almost went in. McLeod runs it down. 7:23 to play, first quarter. Minnesota 2, Dallas 1. Cummins out in front on the run. Number 10 is Greg Thompson. Doc Lawson marking him. And pokes it away, and it's picked up by Loda Wedges. Back up for Cummins, whose power play goal at 5:30 put Minnesota in front 2-1. Good defensive play there by Diego Castro to poke it back to Sobieski. McLeod for Nanchoff, who was shoved and tripped and knocked down, and will get the tripping call against number 4, Ray Hudson.
Only the first team foul called tonight. With a little over 6 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Hudson from behind, the goal scorer for the Strikers.
And the free kick will be taken by David Stride. Lawson for Castro. On the right wing, they have Nanchoff posted low. Cleared in the defense by Thompson, one of their leading shot blockers. And here come the Strikers back the other way. McLeod applying the defensive pressure. Here's Gushin's out in front and shoved off the ball. Stride did a pretty good job of knocking Gushin's away from what could have been a dangerous situation. Now a trip against Minnesota's number 14, Gary Etherington. And it will be the 2nd team foul. 6:04 to play first quarter. Lawson and Sobieski have to play catch because of the good back-checking by David Byrne.
Minnesota's most teams in the MISL in a man-to-man defense here. And trying to get the isolation from Dallas' standpoint, trying to get the ball into the point forward.
Nice job by Byrne of winning it. This is Etherington, who is also in the top 3 on the team in blocking shots. Now Fogarty on the wing looking for Usian. Moreland beats him into the corner and gets it to Sobieski. And lost. That's a dangerous place to lose it. Gushins for Usian. Give and go. Sobieski comes out to clear it. Usian keeping the pressure on Moreland. And now DeBrito trying to get it down the wing for Castro. Lote Vegas has it taken away by Nanchoff. 1-on-2. Louis has Caskey coming up behind him. And Lote Vegas does a nice job of clearing that. Now Gushins lobbing it over Moreland, who taps it back to Sobieski. 2-1 Minnesota. 4:45 remaining in the first quarter at the Met Center in Bloomington. Lote Vegas to Fogarty. And they'll let Tino Lettieri regroup.
Lote Vegas, an all-star player, really a key to this defense, along with this player, Tino Fogarty, the man who was involved in that controversy with Tattoo on the kick. Lettieri is the kind of goaltender that really likes to take risks. He comes way out with his feet. You see him way outside the penalty area right now.
Funny thing, when he played outdoor, he played the same way. It was really unusual there. Here in this indoor game that is the MISL, one kind of exciting thing about it is the goalkeepers get much more involved. Out in front, watch this dangerous situation. Good defensive play right there by Stride to shake Byrne off the ball, and you saw Sobieski cover it up. Fast-moving first quarter has only 3:50 left. The Sidekicks down a goal. Uremovich pokes it into the corner. Byrne intercepts. Tattoo keeps it in play. And this foul will be called against Caskey, who begs to differ. First team foul on Dallas.
Referees are a little bit still bewildered. Essie Bahar missed one of the referees on the field the other night, called 20 penalties in one ball game.
Saw that.
So it is a long season, not only for the players, but for the referees.
Uremovich looking for Caskey, but Lote Vegas got there, and here's Usian. He can really move, too. If he gets a chance to run with any kind of open field, he can really pick him up and lay him down. DeBrito from Moreland looking for Caskey. They got Tattoo posted. And there he is, back heel, but Caskey not able to break to that side of the box. McLeod digging for it, but Usian wins it. Goes down in a heap, disappears from our view. There's Thompson Usian back on his feet. Meanwhile, the Sidekicks come the other way. Tattoo working on Cummins, and Tattoo jumps into Fogarty, and they call Fogarty for interfering with Tattoo's path to the ball.
Got him for obstruction because Fogarty never touched the ball. You see Tattoo's feet are so quick, he'll tap the ball outside of the right foot. There's the tap, jumps up, and Fogarty's playing the man instead of the ball. Good call by the referees.
And the crossing pass by the Sidekicks is picked off by Lettieri. There's the score. 2-1 Strikers with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. Byrne double team, but still able to control, and they'll ask Lettieri to regroup. The point I was making earlier about the importance of this game in the standings is not only could it determine where and will it either one of these teams finish, but it could come into play in the should they tie with one another. Out in front, Stride is trying to break up. Byrne wins it and shoots high. Nanchoff in the corner now. Inside 2 minutes in the first quarter. Byrne, watch it here. Wide.
Dallas defense got crossed up. They lost their men. When you're playing man-to-man and lose somebody, it's really dangerous on the backside.
Heck of a battle between the number 8s there, McLeod and Katsoukas. And Castro is able to get back to that one. 1:30 left in the first quarter with the Strikers leading the Sidekicks 2-1. Hudson scored first at 2:25. Tattoo got a nice left-footed goal at 3:47, but Cummins scored on a power play to give Minnesota the lead. Doc Lawson for Castro on the wing. Coming up on a minute left in the first quarter. Willie poking it away from Nanchoff. Castro lost it, and watch out for Alan Willie. Nice pass for Hudson. And his own rebound. And Lawson clears with 54 seconds left to play first quarter. DeBrito now. He's in a box. And Diego Castro gets over to help him out. Sobieski will distribute with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. In a 2-1 game, Minnesota on top. Sobieski booms one all the way over the top of the goal, and it'll be a goal kick when we come back for the Strikers. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Minnesota leading 2-1.
Give me a light. Go! Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Thank you.
Because everything else is just a light.
Strategy sessions going on in either goal or either team box. Gordon Jago on your left in the brown suit, and there's the Minnesota Strikers huddle. Alan Merrick is their coach, former player. You ran into Mr. Merrick.
I think it was the other way.
He ran into you.
He ran into me. Yes, I'm still hobbled by that.
You were acquainted with his knees and heels and elbows.
Yes, some of the parts of his personality that Gordon Jago was alluding to in our pregame conversation. But enough of Alan Merrick as we get back with the ball game, because anything we say will be used against us, I'm sure. Might mention that Kevin Smith is not playing tonight. He came down with a continuation of his right calf muscle problem, and so Diego Castro will start on the number 2 line for Dallas, and perhaps is one reason why they're having a few little chemistry problem right now. DeBrito and Castro a few moments ago saying a few words to one another.
You see, and so look out here. Moreland didn't have to clear it off because Cummins couldn't quite get to it. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. They battle on the boards as the quarter comes to an end. And they take a break with the Minnesota Strikers trying to get past Dallas and Cleveland. Up by 1. At the end of the first quarter, it's Minnesota 2 and the Sidekicks 1.
It's not too early to start thinking about next year at Dallas Sidekicks Indoor Soccer. Make arrangements now for 1986-87 Sidekick season tickets. Indoor Soccer.
There are 2 things the Sidekicks know about the playoffs for sure. Number 1, they're in them. Number 2, their first home game will be on April 16th, and it will be at Reunion Arena, and it'll kick off at 7:35. And here are the numbers to call for ticket information. You can go to the Reunion Arena box office, or you can call Rainbow Ticketmaster, 787-2000 or 787-1500. And of course, it'll be the weekend, Kyle, before the Sidekicks or anybody else in the East know who they're playing in the playoffs first round and when and where.
Make no mistake about it either. The crowds since the first of the year have really made a big difference to the Sidekicks players. You can hear them talk about it. Last year they talked about the big crowds in other arenas and felt that it was a tremendous disadvantage to play at Kemp Arena in St. Louis against the big crowds. And this year it's been an asset for the team to have a lot of people out. And so naturally they're hoping that big crowd kind of thing will continue at Reunion as we go into the playoffs with that game on the 16th.
The playoff format, the first round is a best of 5, as you see the score as we begin the second quarter. And under normal circumstances, it would be 2-2-1. Home team, highest team in the standings, would play 2 games, then 2 if necessary on the road, and back for one. Now that may change for the Sidekicks if necessary, depending on where they finish and where Reunion Arena is with WCT and the other things, the Mavericks playoffs and everything else. But they do know they will be at home regardless on the 16th of April for a playoff game, and we'll just stay tuned for the rest of the details. Meanwhile, here are the Sidekicks switching ends now, moving to our right and looking for the equalizer. Uremovich out to Moreland. 2-1 Minnesota on goals by Hudson at 2:35 and Stan Cummins at 5:30 of the first quarter. And Tattoo's shot is blocked by Fogarty.
What Minnesota's trying to do here, Brad, they're trying to collapse on Tattoo anytime the ball is dumped into him at the high post. They'll double team him and let the ball go back out to the perimeter. They just don't want to let Tattoo go 1-against-1 inside.
Willie loses the ball on the wing to Moreland and digs to get it back, and Moreland keeps it away from him and Byrne. Now, Victor, where are we going to go with this, son? Whoops. Strikers regain. Low to Vegas. On the wing to Cummins. He's only about 5'3", as Kyle mentioned earlier, but he can really maneuver in tight quarters. Now Tattoo can't hold on. Fogarty for Byrne. And Caskey breaks this one up out in front and bounces back up to take the pass from Moreland. Now a pause to regroup. And DeBrito. And the Sidekicks change players as you see DeBrito wait for Stride and Lawson to get onto the field.
One of the elements of experience of the Sidekicks lacked last year. And not always holding off and...
Watch this. Oh, excuse me, Kyle.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
excuse me.
Caskey had an opportunity for a rebound there and just missed wide. Now we're going to get a foul called against Minnesota as Tattoo was the injured party. Watch Caskey here with his chance for the rebound. He just misfired. Boom. And then while we were showing you that, Tattoo, who got fouled right here, got a shot at Letary, and Letary was able to gather it in, so Tattoo comes back up into a defensive posture as Usean works out in front of the Dallas goal. Overleads Gushins, but they come down to the wing to Willie, or to Hudson, I beg your pardon. They overled Usean there, and Sobieski distributes it out. Nanchoff trying to work free of Thompson, which is not easy to do.
One of the assets that he brings is that he is a different style forward and has the great side-to-side ability, not raw speed. And so sometimes if you can't beat people with speed or with Tattoo's ability, Nanchoff has really played a very key part this year.
Now, are they going to call that on Nanchoff? That's interesting because he's backing in trying to dig for position, but meanwhile Thompson has got a hold of his shirt and his hip and everything else.
His head hit the guy's fist. It was that kind of deal.
In any event, it is team foul number 1 against the Sidekicks here in the second quarter, which has 12 minutes to run with a score 2-1 Minnesota. Looking for Thompson, Usean, and Lawson fighting him for it. Up to Nanchoff, and Usean goes on the overlap on the right wing. They go to McLeod. Nanchoff weaving his way into the post as McLeod operates. Off the glass, and no rebound opportunity, so Usean dumps it back to Tino Letary. But kept in play by Castro. Watch it. McLeod shoved off the ball and picked up again by Letary. Now here's Low to Vegas. On the run. Now he'll pull up, set the offense, and dump it for Willie, but Moreland pokes it away. Low to Vegas. Thompson. Byrne on the wing. Oh, nice little weave move. They tried to give and go with Willie. Willie then posts low. Back out to Low to Vegas. 19 is David Byrne. Nanchoff. Nice move around Byrne. Looking for Uremovich on the wing. Low to Vegas got back. Now in front, Castro has it checked away from him. But DeBrito, good job of keeping it in play, and Letary plucks it off the tree. 2-1 Strikers, 10:30 left to play in the second quarter. And down goes Ray Hudson, and the foul will be called on Billy Caskey.
Had a few battles in previous years in outdoor soccer. Coming right off the bench is Caskey. If you recall, Caskey, one of that terrible twosome, but tried to protect Tattoo in that game played back in Dallas. Last time they played here at the Met Center, Tattoo had 5 goals and an 8-1 win.
Off the post, or almost off the post, and Sobieski got a break there, and then a little help from Lawson and Moreland. That was a very dangerous situation. You were saying about Tattoo last time.
No, just saying that 8-1 victory for Dallas here the last time they played at the Met Center. Billy Phillips was in goal that night, had a great game.
You see it in front, and Moreland, or Stride, I beg your pardon, number 2, very well positioned to screen Jan Gushin's number 11 off the ball. So Stride operates up now the strikers with a little bit. Oh, the strikers called for a foul here. Etherington got the foul, and I don't know what in the world was different between that exchange of Etherington and Tattoo than what we saw a moment ago involving Nanchoff and Hudson. In any event,
they're so overplaying Tattoo here, you can't get the ball to him. You have to go through 4 players.
Well, someone else will just have to do it. Right. Here's Lawson, but he can't get to it before Lettieri does. And it obviously shows the respect the strikers have for Tattoo's ability. He scored the only Dallas goal tonight. Oh, Kasky got a bit of a grip on Cummins. That time he got away with it. Gushin's working to get away from Stride, goes to Fogarty on the right wing. Byrne back out to Cummins. Now Lodevegas. Dumps it for Gushin's. Nice give and go. Lodevegas. Out in front, Byrne. Kasky can't get it out of there. He's trying. Oh, nice move. Sobieski, a hand save. And a handball now on the strikers, I believe. Oh, knee.
Very close to a dangerous foul and a dangerous opportunity for Minnesota. That lady doesn't agree with the call. But when a player is on his back like that on the ground, the referees can call dangerous play because he is hindering the other players from kicking at the ball.
Shot by Tattoo is blocked by Fogarty. Now here's Castro trying to work on Lodevegas. He's double teamed and keeps it going in the corner. And here come the strikers on the counterattack. They've got Byrne. Here he is. Broken up by Castro. I like the way in that last flurry down there in front of Sobieski. I think it was Gushin's laying on his back, picked the ball up between his feet and pivoted his hips and turned around about 45 degrees. Well, it's not like picking a golf ball up off the green and improving your lie. You can do that.
But you ought to see these soccer players play golf, though.
Well,
talking about kicking balls out of the rough.
Yeah, as golfers, they make great soccer players. I think most of them. 2-1 strikers with 7:28 remaining in the first half. And this is Alan Willey, number 9 on the wing for Minnesota. They go long for Yusian off the glass. Uremovich is there, and Yusian still is able to put a little pressure on Sobieski. Now Uremovich, Castro into the Minnesota end, looking for Nanchoff. He's brought down. There's the whistle. And it goes against number 14, Gary Etherington. Says he pushed me. Pushed me. You see him push me? Oh, well, never mind. Lawson, free kick. Out to Stride. Through and broken up. Good defense by Thompson, number 10. And we'll take a break as we pause for the kick-in. 6:58 left to play in the first half with Minnesota leading the Sidekicks 2-1. Expressing some strategy to Pedro de Brito. A little more movement, says Gordon, whose team trails by 1.
Trying to get a unanimous focus towards their direction for the remainder of the first half. In terms of unanimous things, there's no doubt that he will win the Coach of the Year honors. If he doesn't, it'll be the biggest upset in a long time and could very well win it unanimously, as this has been the turnaround team of the MISL not only this season, but the whole history. Cleveland's the only team that ever has even gotten close, which we talked about last week in Chicago.
I saw something in Chicago after the game last week. It's a little unusual. A reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times was getting some quotes from Gordon after the game, and as he left, as he walked away, he said to Gordon, I hope you win Coach of the Year. You really deserve it. It's not something reporters always say to coaches. Lettieri is able to keep this one away from Manchoff. And the Sidekicks here trying to get back on defense. And here's the pressure and a goal by Jan Gushins. They caught the Sidekicks flat-footed, Kyle. And they are yelling goose.
Jan Gushins was the #1 scorer for this team last year with 49 goals. There he is against David Stride. Caskey comes in. Between the two of them, they can't double team, and there's the toe poke shot as Lawson tried to cut off the passing lane to Dangerfield on the other side, but the danger was not in Dangerfield, it was in Gushins, who picked up another goal, his 18th of the season, and believe it or not, the leading point getter for Minnesota last year is 6th this year in points on the team, and that shows you what they've added with the David Burns, the Stan Cummins, Dangerfield's players of that category.
So they now lead 3-1 and poke it away and are on the attack again. Fogarty back to Hudson, and they're going to drop back and regroup. Gushins, 18th goal of the year. They give Tino Lettieri an assist.
Or Lettieri, that should, if I recall, that should tie him for an MISL record for assists in a season.
And you saw the good save by Sobieski at the other end. Time of the goal was 8:34. Gushins from Lettieri. And it's 3-1 Minnesota with 5:30 remaining in the second quarter. The Sidekicks looking for a little offense. Tattoo, look at the umbrella he walks into. Kyle's been telling you throughout the game, they're just look, Tattoo says, what am I supposed to do? I can't turn around, I can't get any room to move.
He just moved to the outside so he could get some more room.
McLeod, Moreland drills it. It's broken up by Fogarty. And we'll take a break. 5 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first half, and Minnesota now up by 2. Soccer League record with his 12th assist, previous high that he shared, of course, with 11 assists coming in. Zoltan Toth last year with San Diego, and Scott Manning last year with Baltimore both had 11 assists. And Lettieri now has his 12th as a goalkeeper. And the Sidekicks trail 3-1 as Jeremovich dumps it in looking for Tattoo, kept away from him by Thompson. And here come the Strikers with 4:49. The clock stops now as the ball sails out of bounds, and it'll be a kick in.
Strategy here very similar to what we saw in the Final Four and we see in basketball is if you're going to collapse on the inside, then your perimeter shooters have got to do a job, and that's exactly what Minnesota is saying to the Sidekicks tonight is we're not going to try to let Tattoo have much freedom. We'll let the Victor Morelands and the Jeremoviches and everyone else shoot it at Lettieri, but we don't want Tattoo to be inside open.
Difference is it may be a little easier to hit a 20-foot shot in basketball than it is for a guy to stand out here 15, 20 feet on the wing and drill one into a net in this game. 4:20 left to play first half. Minnesota 3 and the Sidekicks 1. Tattoo can't quite hold it. McLeod has it poked away from him as Etherington jumps up. You got to look at him. Here's Stride now for Dallas, looking for Tattoo. And he's got 2 men with him everywhere he goes. On the wing to Castro. Back to the point to Jeremovich. Stride loses it. Jeremovich wins it back, but watch you see, and they'll let Sobieski redistribute.
One of the choices that Dallas has in offense is to just leave a Tattoo in there solo so the ball can be played into space, and you hope Tattoo can use his athletic ability to beat Greg Thompson to the ball. The difficulty is Thompson, a former all-state football player, All-American at Indiana University, great, outstanding athlete himself. That's the reason he's been assigned to Tattoo, because he'll have the speed, the quickness to match up with him.
Stride called for the handball, and here's Lodovegas poked away from him by Castro, and they're going to get Lodovegas for a foul. And now look out, that's the 5th foul on Minnesota, and it comes with 3:15 left in the quarter. If you get to the 6th foul, then you play a man short for 2 minutes. So that's what the Sidekicks will be hoping for with 3:06 left to play in the first half. Lawson off the forehead of Caskey, and Caskey gets it back and now loses it to Alan Willie.
This is where a player like Louis Natchoff can really help the offense. If Dallas can get the ball inside to him, Louis seems to have an ability to draw fouls because he doesn't beat people with speed. He beats them with guile and skill.
2:40 left to play in the first half, and the clock running. Minnesota leading Dallas 3-1. And it'll come back the other way. Sidekicks kick in.
Takes a player like Letary quite a while to develop the confidence of his teammates because he does so many things in a bizarre fashion. But everyone has learned, at least on this team, you've got to accept some of his idiosyncrasies and his blatant failures with all the success that he gives you, because when you balance the equation, he's still a great goaltender, has very good goals against average, and obviously has the wins to support it as well.
Lawson on the wing, 2:25 left second quarter. Lawson on the move, out in front. Caskey can't control. Does, though, for Moreland. And Victor will have to regroup back to DeBrito. 2:11 to play. 3-1 Minnesota, our score.
Here's an isolation. It's like a Julius Erving. They want to let Doc go just one-on-one against David Byrne.
This is Nanchoff working on Fogarty. A cat and mouse by Louis. Picks up another defender. Leaves it for DeBrito. Out in front. And just missed the post. Just missed the post. And back to Letary with 1:40 left in the first half. Sidekicks have had a couple of opportunities. Not all that many real clear-cut opportunities tonight, but they've had a couple. Caskey missed the rebound, and that one was a near miss. 3-1, Strikers our score. Way out in front now. Goosens leaving it for Byrne. Out in front, Moreland trying to defend. And Byrne has to come back to Lodovegas. Into the corner, dangerous here, but Nanchoff is able to tap it back.
I'll remind you to be sure to stay with us. Excuse me, Brad, as we'll have Gordon Jago at halftime talk about the season. We also have Steve Stewart with one of the players on the trip who is not suiting up tonight.
And the Sidekicks have brought just about everybody tonight because it is the last road trip of the year. They go on to San Diego to finish the regular season on Saturday. Tattoo digs in the corner and has it poked away. Here come the Strikers again with Byrne out in front, blocked by Moreland. And Tattoo to Moreland. Oh, just missed that one. Just missed that one. 27 seconds left in the first half. That looked a little bit like a foul, but it wasn't called. Now here's Lawson with 20 seconds in the half. On the wing, and it's intercepted. But Moreland gets it back, and a back heel, and a save by Letary to Rob Nanchoff. 6 seconds in the half as Yusian comes down in a hurry, shoots, and a save. 1 second, and the first half comes to an end. About 3 great opportunities there for the Sidekicks in that quarter, but to the delight of the Minnesota Strikers fans, here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Tino Letary.
Take a look at that last chance one more time and see what it looks like as the ball came back outside to Moreland. He turned it, and there's the back heel by Nanchoff, and the ball just by the fingertips is gathered in by Tino Letary.
We are at halftime. Minnesota leading the Dallas Sidekicks.
Ball back inside because it allowed Hudson, that was Byrne's header, and there's Hudson with the side-footed volley that really put things away and meant Chris Sobieski was at his mercy, and no mercy was shown.
That made it 1-0 at 2:35, and then the Sidekicks were able to tie the score briefly a couple of moments later, and it was a kind of a goal that really caught you by surprise. You had to really be paying attention because Tattoo did one of those things that he's so good about doing. He can just pop one on you.
Well, remember, Tattoo is the player that scored 5 goals the last time the Sidekicks played here against the Strikers, and here's a look. He's going against Fogarty, traps the ball and begins to turn. Now, they try to semi-collapse on him, but this is why throughout the remainder of the first half, they've really double-teamed him every time he got the ball at his feet, because that was not even a half chance. He not only took the chance, but he was able to get it past Tino Letary and tie that ball game up.
That made it 1-1, and then the Strikers went back in front just a couple of minutes later, 5:35 of the first quarter, and they did it on a power play goal after David Stride was sent to the box for 2 minutes for tripping, and it was number 13, Stan Cummins, who is Minnesota's leading goal scorer against the Sidekicks this season, who was able to stretch the Minnesota lead to 3-1.
You don't see many goals scoring indoors with a head, and particularly with the shortest man in the league. 5'3" Stan Cummins here, as the ball comes up off the boards, heads the ball down. Watch that technique. It's off the ground and then bounces up and hits the sidebar, the crossbar, before it goes in. Stan Cummins, diminutive perhaps in size, but a real peripatetic type of player, runs all over the field and has really been a key to their late season surge.
Peripatetic then.
Yes, whatever.
Yeah, and then the only goal that was scored in the second quarter was scored by number 11, Jan Goossens, the man who a year ago led the Minnesota Strikers in scoring, only his 18th of this year, but it gave him a little insurance, a little breathing room.
Well, Jan Goossens is the kind of player that early on in the season really could not find his way back into the game. Lately, though, you see on this double team, Caskey comes in number 12. He tries to help out David Stride a little bit. Stride perhaps waiting for Caskey, Caskey waiting for Stride. Goossens didn't wait for anybody as he took the ball past Chris Sobieski.
And that put Minnesota in front 3-1 on the 18th goal of the year for a happy Jan Goossens. And that's where we are now at halftime, with the Minnesota Strikers leading the Dallas Sidekicks 3-1. We'll be back with more halftime activities at the Met Center in Bloomington in just a moment.
And here's big life insurance news.
Hey, John, your competition.
Now,
snack time.
Outstanding coverage
John,
that you can
just
afford.
Move over.
Introducing Comp Life from Northwestern Mutual Life, a revolutionary new policy series that combines the low cost of term with cash value buildup.
Here's more news. We at Angel & Associates are starting an office in Plano. To explore career opportunities with Northwestern Mutual in Plano, give me a call.
John, can you sell that? No.
Only a Northwestern Mutual agent can do that.
Coach, just looking at the season, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but you've got to be the unanimous Coach of the Year selection. It's been a great year.
It's been a magnificent year. Things such as individual awards, not for me. You know, I tore the stat sheet up in front of the players, and I said, hey, MVPs, it's great, but we all know that this is a team game, and many people have made this possible. So anything that comes to any individual, it's really there for the team.
To be fair, last year had Tattoo been injured early on, it would have been an even more dismal year. And yet this year, you've had some injuries to some key players like Carpin and Vanderbeck. David Stride has been injured throughout most of the year. And you've been so resilient, you've still been able to perform even with those kind of injuries.
Because I think we put together a good, solid squad this year, much more experience. All those things have been said many times. But it was interesting. We were down to 12 fit men at one time, and Charlie Cook, with no disrespect, I mean, as assistant coach, and those 12 young men brought us through that period with enough wins and to keep us in being. There have been other teams that have had this sort of schedule injuries, Carl, but they couldn't hold it. They lost too many games at that time, and that hurts. But I think that was the secret, that those players at that time kept us in with a chance.
Talk about critical times of the season when those 12 players did their job for you. You also were on the midst of a 4-game road trip, and you had a homestand that was a very important homestand to you.
Oh, yes, because we knew the 4-game road trip was coming up, and we didn't want to go away with too much to do. We had to win all 4, and which we did, and did it beautifully. And then, of course, winning the first game of the road trip in Chicago really took all the pressure off it. It didn't leave us with any fears of we had too much to do on the road in that spell.
When you talk about winning 4 games at home, naturally you have to involve the fans, and they have played a great role for you this year too.
Oh, they've been great all year, and I think they've been great since day one. You know, we've had 4,000 people sound like 17,000 people, but they've really got behind us, and you know, they've lived with our problems, they've lived with our mistakes. They've been very, very good in that respect. They've been patient, and we're delighted because they really do get the boys going, and we like to think that in return we've given them some good games to get excited about.
Did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that you could be sitting here with 2 games to go in the season, fighting for first place in this division, particularly when you got pulled out of the Western Division last year?
Oh, no way. You know, I thought if, I never said anything, but I thought to myself, if we can get 20 wins, Carl, that'll be a good season. And yet here we are with a few days to go, only 2 games for most teams, and we're still battling there for first. It's a marvelous opportunity, and I'm hoping that everything goes our way tonight, because our victory here tonight, I think, will seal number 1 or number 2 spot.
Well, you've got a new nickname, Coach Cinderella, and the nice thing is that the clock never strikes midnight for the Dallas Sidekicks. Back with more halftime activities in just a moment.
grades are slipping.
We're having problems.
I know Anne's worried about your husband's drinking.
We're afraid to talk to him about it.
My dad had a drinking problem. Schick helped us talk to him about getting treatment.
What happened?
Schick helped him lose his craving in 10 days with a couple of 2-day follow-ups.
Oh, thank you. I'll call Schick.
Schick has a #1 success rate and also treats cocaine.
Score at the half is 3-1 with the Strikers leading the Dallas Sidekicks in a battle as we have the ball fly right in front of us here. Kevin Smith is with us as we make the transition here. And Kevin is out of the game tonight because of a calf injury. And first of all, Kevin, how's your injury coming along?
Well, I've been training last week or so, and it's been hurting me quite a bit. But I was training this morning, and I just went for a ball with Billy Caskey. He didn't mean to kick me. I don't know if he's like it in the game anyway, but he just touched me with his knee, and it just felt a great big pain there, and that was it. And I had to just walk off, and that's what I had no choice. Just had to walk off, and that was it.
Of course, you talk about Billy Caskey, Victor Moreland, people like that have really had a big impact on this team, and they've had an impact on you. You're having a much better season, and so are the Sidekicks.
Well, I think the main thing that's improved my game is them being around. I started to kick a bit more, and they've always telling me, mucking about, get stuck in, smudger, and you know they've helped the team a hell of a lot, and they've helped me get back and get stuck in, and hopefully we can carry it on in the playoffs.
Could you have imagined a year ago at this time when the team was 12-34 with 2 games to go that a year from now you'd be in first place with 2 games to go? Could you have even dreamt that?
Of course I could, Steve. Now, I think what Charlie and Gordon have done, they've brought in a lot of experienced players, and they've helped, like me. I'm a young player, but I've had some experience, but they've come in and they've done a good job. They've really started, helping the youngsters a lot. Victor and Billy and Stridey and Louis and Doc. They've really come in. They've made a big difference to the club.
Now the Sidekicks are down by 2 at halftime. The same thing was true on last Thursday's game in Chicago that was right here on Channel 33, and the Sidekicks came back to win that one. What do you think the Sidekicks have to do to come back in the second half?
Well, I think as you see before the end of the half, we had a couple of good chances. I think if we just get one goal, we'll be straight back in the game. No problem.
Get healthy, and we'll see you back soon.
Thank you.
That's Kevin Smith of the Dallas Sidekicks. We'll go back upstairs to Brad and Kyle. All right, Steve, thanks very much. With the score at halftime, the Minnesota Strikers 3 and the Dallas Sidekicks 1. We'll return to the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota after these words.
This bud's for all that you do. You keep America going. You keep the juices flowing. You are the muscle, the hope and the hustle. You keep the country growing, and you make America working. This bud's for you. You keep the nation trying. You keep the dream from dying. You're the believer, the fun and the fever. You keep the heart of it flying, 'cause you make America working. This bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers.
You make America working. This bud's for you.
And here's Big Life Insurance news.
Hey, John, your competition.
Now,
snack time.
Outstanding coverage
John,
that you can
just
afford.
move over.
Introducing Comp Life from Northwestern Mutual Life, a revolutionary new policy series that combines the low cost of term with cash value buildup.
Here's more news. We at Angel & Associates are starting an office in Plano. To explore career opportunities with Northwestern Mutual in Plano, give me a call.
John, can you sell that? No.
Only a Northwestern Mutual agent can do that.
There's the scoring summary in the first half. Hudson, Cummins, and Goosens for Minnesota. Tattoo for the Sidekicks. And that gives us our 3-1 score. And we mentioned as we get right back to play in the second half that we thought it was otherwise an even half, and the numbers bear that out. Shots in the first half, 11 for Minnesota, 10 for Dallas, and each goalkeeper called on to make 5 saves. So the only imbalance is for Minnesota in the scoreboard, where they lead 3-1. And here's Letary trying to distribute in a hurry up to Willie. Watch this one. Uremovich on the dead run catches him enough to throw him off stride. That was a good bit of running by Uremovich. Now the side kicks the other way to Brito. Tattoo, and the save by Letary. Boy, from up here at this angle, it looks like Tattoo's got that shot, doesn't it?
Well, he put it on goal anyway. Letary had to make the save. He had goaltender had the benefit of the good angle there. But that's one thing about Tattoo. He has incredible on-goal shooting ability.
First minute of the third quarter, and this is Usean. Nice give and go, and a goal for Jan Goosens from Usean at 1:04 of the third quarter.
Well, one thing the Sidekicks have not done this year is give away gifts like this one. That one pass beating two defenders. Stride tries to get back, but Mike Uremovich's pass early on was the one that was picked up in midfield. And Minnesota quickly converted.
And that stretches the Strikers' lead to 4-1. The goal by Goosens, his second of the night. Again, the time was 1:04, and the assist to Usean. And here's Thompson, Usean again. This is 2-on-4. Watch it on the wing with Goosens. Lawson picks him up. Thompson. And back it comes to Etherington. Usean looking for a little help as Stride picks him up. Greg Thompson. Kyle told you what a terrific athlete he is. Hudson turns the corner in front. Little miscommunications with Goosens that time to the delight of the Sidekicks. Kyle, momentum swinging to Minnesota now with that 4-1 lead.
And Jan Goosens has a smile on his face, has a lot of confidence, and that's something he has been without for most of the season. That's unfortunate for the Sidekicks.
4-1 Minnesota. And Etherington leaves it inside for the run into the corner. Thompson has it taken away. Watch out in front, Nanchoff. Defensive action, and then comes back trying to get the transition game going for the Sidekicks. Low to Vegas. Into the corner for David Byrne. Out in front. And Uremovich runs it down. Sidekicks kind of back on their heels right now.
Many times as a coach you would call timeout, but you don't call it just 2 minutes into a half when you only have one for the whole half.
Uremovich drops it for Castro into the corner. And it's taken away from him. And here come the Strikers. Incidentally, we are told that at Maroons Clubhouse in Chicago, the satellite dish is up, and the Baltimore Blast and their gracefully aging head coach Kenny Cooper and the Chicago Sting and their fine coach Willie Roy are watching the game on satellite tonight, so those teams are going to play each other Friday night, both still in the playoff chase. So Willie and the Sting and Coop and the Blast, it's very good to have you with us this evening here at the Met Center.
And you should know that the Federal Communications Commission will be sending you a warrant for your arrest as...
Who, me?
No.
I was
Kenny and Roy. Sure, for being satellite pirates.
Why are they satellite pirates? This foul was...
They're stealing this signal, which is a copyrighted signal.
I guess that's right. Here's Kasky and a save by Letary.
Say that tongue-in-cheek, but
but somewhere in Washington, there's a little FCC guy going, where was that again? Tattoo off the post. Runs it down. He's trying to get him back in it. Now he gets bumped by Hudson. But no foul is called. Usean leaves it on the wing. Goosens, Usean. Oh, nice back heel pass. And Stride got there to break it up, and grabs his ankle in pain. And the Sidekicks trainer Steve Smith will head onto the field. David Stride is not having fun right this minute.
No, and he has been courageous this whole season. Brad, I have been absolutely shocked that he's finished the whole season. He's had bad Achilles tendon problems, and you just can't operate with that. But David is such a battler. Here's his sliding tackle to get the ball away. And as he goes down, the back of his ankle and calf, and this could be very serious. Gordon Jago now going out onto the field.
We'll take a break. 10 minutes, 21 seconds left to play third quarter while they attend to the injured David Stride. Let's all munch on a little popcorn and come back in just a moment. The Strikers leading Dallas 4-1. At Reunion Arena, and you can have more fun and make it more economical by going in a group. And here's the number to call for group playoff tickets for the Sidekicks game on the 16th at Reunion Arena. 760-7330. There's David Stride getting some assistance from trainer Steve Smith on your left and Victor Moreland helping him off the field. You could tell that was a dead serious injury, Kyle, and right in a hurry, because he didn't put on a show, he didn't complain, he just went down and grabbed that leg. You hate to see that.
So it means Mark Evans will come on the field now, and he has not had a chance to warm up. There's Evans right in front of Sobieski.
10-16 left to play in the third quarter with the Strikers leading the Sidekicks 4-1, and a foul called on Minnesota, the first team foul of the third quarter, as you see Billy Caskey put it in play for the Sidekicks. Here's Lawson. Backs burn up, shot, and a goal by Doc Lawson, and it's 4-2.
One of the advantages of having Tattoo inside the box position at the post is that the goaltender, particularly if he's as small as Tino Lettieri is going to have his vision blocked. This is ice hockey style right here. Doc Lawson hits a bomb with his left foot in the upper corner. But Tattoo's presence in the box, I'm sure, got Lettieri's, and you see Doc Lawson going up and thanking Tattoo for blocking the vision of Lettieri so he could get that shot off.
As you see, the 11th goal of the year for Doc Lawson comes at 4:57 of the third quarter, and we'll see if they, I can't imagine they'd give an assist on that, but we never know. And they did give the assist. There's Lawson with a block on the other end. They gave Billy Caskey an assist, and then Lawson blocked a shot at the other end, and here come the Sidekicks. You can almost feel the life breathe back into him as a result of that goal. DeBrito working with Evans. Little give and go. Out in front. Broken up. And Lettieri punches this one away.
Lettieri making no mistake about it again. Not very tall in stature, so he didn't have much of a chance to catch the ball as a goaltender, and he's learned over time to punch just about everyone out.
So to speak.
Yes.
9:14 left to play third quarter, and it's now Minnesota 4 and Dallas 2. Mark Carpin playing it back to Sobieski. Look at Byrne keeping the pressure on. And it sails into the seats, and the fans, of course, as you see Uremovich come back into the play, they want it called, but they will not get a penalty. There's David Stride listening to Gordon Jago talk a little strategy.
While we're looking at the bench and congratulating the Sidekicks on this just great year, also need to congratulate Neil Cohen and Jan van Beveren and a lot of the other people that have been part of building this franchise to get this team into this position.
There's a block by Uremovich and a clearance by Moreland. Heads up play by Victor Moreland. Please continue.
No, I was just going to say that a lot of people have a lot to do with it, and most prognosticators picked Dallas dead last in the Eastern Division. And I didn't pick them any higher than fourth, so shows you how wrong I was.
Foul on Caskey, and it's the first on the Sidekicks here in the third quarter. And the play is becoming even more physical, if that can be imagined. 8:34 remaining. Here's Nanchoff, dumps it into the corner. McLeod digging for it with Thompson, pulls him down. Cummins leaves it out in front. Uremovich pokes it away. Moreland back to Uremovich in the corner. Out in front. Caskey has his shot and his foot blocked by Greg Thompson, but no foul called. Now a whistle as Thompson writhes in pain, and I'm sure he's hurting because when he got in front of Caskey, he caught the ball and the foot.
Sure, you look at it, it's not real clear here exactly what happens. There's Thompson, number 10. He comes across. The ball hit him in the face, and the foot hit him in the knee, and he went down.
The camera, of course, was following the ball, and so we didn't get a chance to see it, but I just happened to be watching Caskey on his follow-through, and he really just landed one right on the kneecap, it looked like, or right below it. Well, Greg Thompson will limp off with a little assistance. 8:09 left third quarter, and Minnesota holding a 2-goal lead over the Sidekicks at 4-2.
Dallas, the first team this season to finish their home schedule, due in part to the MISL schedule maker, and I'm sure that will change next year as Dallas gets into their third MISL season. At home this year, 16-8. There's David Stride now getting a little look at what's going on in the field as a drop ball has occurred to restart play.
Nanchoff backheel pass, and Caskey just missed, and then McLeod's attempt goes high into the seats. Caskey has missed a couple of open goals this evening, just barely. Here's this last one.
Terrific pass by Nanchoff, and Caskey had it hit it first time on the run. It's a lot more difficult than it looks, folks, but that was still a great opportunity, Brad, as you said it. I know he would like to have that one back.
Yeah, and I don't say that by way of criticizing Caskey, because, as you say, it's a lot tougher than it looks. But a simple statement of fact. That one had an opening, and he had one on a rebound in the second quarter. And those were chances that sometimes you would like to have once again. Here's a foul on Goosens, and it's the second Minnesota team foul of the third quarter. That Lodovegas intercepts in the defense, and now it's taken back by Evans and back again by Lodovegas. And here's UC, and now we're going to get another whistle.
Three-line violation.
Three-line violation, right. And the Sidekicks, Pedro DeBrito rushes it up to put it in play. 7:41 left, third quarter, and there's your score. 4-2 Minnesota.
A little special play being put on here by Dallas.
Well, they forgot to tell Usean. Lawson trying to keep it alive. Now Evans. Usean again breaks it up. A little stiff arm, and Thompson, you see, boy, he's something to watch if he gets room to operate. He's got Fogarty here on the right wing, but can't get it to him. Dumps it back, and here's Lodovegas. Into the middle. Cummins trying to find Goosens, and Sobieski jumped out on it. And here's DeBrito the other way for Dallas. No, maybe this way. Yeah, there's too many white shirts over there. I'm going to go this way.
For a tall, big, lanky player, he has incredible skill, as we just saw some of that, changing direction with the ball right at his feet.
There's the part that you marvel at, you know. Oh, now how about that? Let's do-si-do here. Lodovegas grabbing Tattoo, and he grabbed so effectively he forgot to let go as he went by.
That was not a South American gesture.
No.
It was just saying we want 2 minutes.
Oh, let me go on for the ride, huh? That's the third foul. You don't see him quite so flagrant out in the open like that all the time.
Well, Tattoo is very right, I think, to call for a 2-minute penalty, because it was just he and the goaltender then had Lodovegas let him go.
Uremovich dumps it in for Tattoo, and the shot's blocked by Fogarty. Well, Fogarty, I know the Sidekicks probably don't have him at the top of their favorite list because of that business in February. Watch this now, Byrne. Talk about Fogarty some more. And there's a good play by Caskey to come in and get the other way. But Fogarty he's a scrap iron kind of a lunch pail guy, isn't he? He works hard. And he kind of knew tonight he was going to get bruised and battered around. You have the feeling he kind of looked forward to it.
Well, he's got to keep his legs closed, because that's one thing that Tattoo does better than just about anybody in the league, and that is he can shoot between a defender's legs.
Watch Usean now. Moreland, turn around, Victor. There it is, an orange thing. Usean, Hudson. Oh, and the save by Sobieski. Usian had a save by Sobieski. And Tattoo hurdles by his man. Tattoo pushing it to McLeod. In front and a save by Lettieri. And here they come the other way. Alan Willie stymied by Moreland. Fogarty on the wing. Carpet marking him. No pun intended. Byrne in the corner. DeBrito digging for it. 5 minutes left, third quarter, 4-2 Minnesota. Back heel by Willie. Or by Hudson. They're looking for Willie. And Lawson can't hold it in the corner. Moreland digging with Alan Willie. Byrne in front through the crease. Carpin now to Sobieski. Here's DeBrito. Willie back to Mark. Hey, this is more defense than I've seen Alan Willie play in years.
Indoor soccer forces you to do that. And
some
right,
find a way around it,
yes.
However. No, really, I mean, Alan Willie. Here's Carpin looking for Nanshoff, and Etherington hooked him off it.
Well, you're right, though, and that was one of the, particularly in the MISL, one of the real changes. He did not start playing well early on this year, and defense, again, was the key. You just can't. Every coach keeps their plus and minus stats, and no matter how many goals you score, if you give up an equal number, they're not going to keep you on the field.
But you'll agree that as Nanshoff is bumped off it by Etherington, for instance, there's a fellow who's probably sitting in that club in Chicago watching this evening, Mr. Stomenkovic from Baltimore, who is a marvelously talented player who is not going to anybody's Hall of Fame as a defensive player necessarily. Here come the strikers. Goosen's on the wing. Oh, through the crease again. And they keep it alive.
One thing Stan does, though, he stays so far up that opponents can't afford to leave him free. So Stan, in a lot of ways, is very effective because he doesn't even make a pretense of playing defense. He just stays up at the far end of the field, and no one's going to leave him alone, so his man never scores. In fact, his man never sees the other end of the field.
Defense by offense. Here's Lawson working with Evans. Lawson gets back to it and dumps it all the way back for Sobieski. 2:50 left in the third quarter. Minnesota up 4-2. Each team has scored once here in the third quarter. Now they're going to get Nanshoff for the second Sidekicks team foul. A little extra elbow on Thompson. Lettieri, good distribution. And Sobieski watches that one go off the glass. Moreland, here's Goosen's. Off the post. McLeod finally winning it. With Cummins putting pressure on him. Wow.
Got two teams here tonight, Brad, that have been able to win ball games this year by fighting power. Dallas did not have that ability last year. They have it this year. Minnesota did not have it as consistently last year as they've had it this year. They got it in the playoffs last year, but they didn't have it in the regular season. And so right now you've got a position in the game where both teams are saying, all right, if it's going to be a brawl, then we'll just brawl, and both are saying that's fine.
4-2 Minnesota inside. 2 minutes in the third quarter now, 1:50. Look how far Sobieski's come out. And look at Lodovegas putting the pressure on Kasky. And takes it away with Dangerfield right there. Oh, DeBrito gets it back. And DeBrito has it poked away, but stays with it. And we're going to take a break with 1:33 to play in the third quarter in Minnesota, leading the Sidekicks 4-2. Excitement of the Dallas Sidekicks. It's a great time to order your season tickets for next year, 1986-87. And yes, the Sidekicks are looking forward to your season ticket orders for next year, even now, even before this season's come to an end. Never too early to get a jump on the best seats available by calling 760-7330 for Sidekick season tickets. There's Stan Cummins, the Minnesota player who was injured on that last play that led to the break. It looked like an inadvertent kick, Kyle, and you made the point he made a heck of a defensive play.
Great defensive play, but, you know, even on those season tickets, that is not an issue here in Minnesota, but Kansas City, Baltimore, San Diego, St. Louis, Cleveland, having that season ticket priority is a really big deal, and I encourage you to find out. It's obviously there's no obligation. Just find out about what season ticket locations you can get, find out about the prices, and check it out. And let's take a look now at how Stan Cummins, with Pedro DeBrito going towards the penalty box. DeBrito has really good speed, but Cummins equaled the speed, and right here got his left leg out to block this shot by DeBrito. Here it comes right there, and with the power of DeBrito's shot, the inside ligament, the medial collateral ligament on that left knee is what got stretched as the ball hit against the ankle and put a lot of pressure on that knee.
So he's been carried to the bench, and the Sidekicks, DeBrito will have the kick in because he cleared it. Cummins did into the seats. A minute and a half remaining in quarter number 3. Dallas down 2 goals. Lawson around in front, overshoots Tattoo, and Carpin has it knocked away from him. And Etherington clears it for Minnesota. And here comes Hudson, digging it for Byrne in the corner. He lost it. And Evans back to Sobieski. Now Tattoo, a minute 8 left in the third. Tattoo on the run with DeBrito in front. Etherington broke it up. Tattoo gets it back. Here's DeBrito. Oh, looking for Tattoo. Overshot. Lawson's shot is wide. Tattoo lamenting that opportunity, but a good defensive play by Minnesota. Carpin gets it back. Takes it away. Tattoo. Still digging.
Minnesota is now in its counterattack mode, and you can expect them really to come sprinting out when they get the ball.
35 seconds in the quarter. Lawson's shot's deflected. Here's Willie. And here they go, and Carpin says, let's make a change, and he comes off. Caskey comes on, as you see Tino Lettieri. And they've slowed down that counterattack now to change players themselves and get Hudson and Lodevegas back on the field.
Well, that's really the only reason they wanted fresh players, but you can expect in the run of play most of the time they're going to be taken off.
Oh, Usean got around Evans. Look at Usean, and Sobieski saved it. What a run, though, by Thompson Usean as the third quarter winds to a close. A bit of a thrill for the Minnesota fans from number 20, Thompson Usean. 15 minutes left to play, and look at this run.
He's got all the speed and the great skill, too. He'll try to play it to himself off the boards, and as he goes off the boards, the ball hits Sobieski in the back and gets pinned there, and fortunately, Sobieski able to turn around and get hold of it.
So at the end of 3 quarters, our score is the Minnesota Strikers 4 and the Dallas Sidekicks 2. Brad Sham and Kyle Rote Jr. welcoming you back to the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. There's the score at the end of 3 quarters. And the first goal of the third quarter was the second of the night for number 11 in the white shirt, Jan Goossens.
And it was just 1 minute into the third quarter as the 1-2 pass, you see in Goossens, and then Goossens slots it away, passes the ball into the net. Is really Chris Sobieski came out to cut off some of the angle, but you can't cut off all the angle against a Jan Goossens.
Usean got the assist, and that came at 1:04 of the third quarter. And about 4 minutes later, specifically at 4:57 of the third, the Sidekicks drew back within 2 as Doc Lawson scored his 11th goal of the season with an assist to Billy Caskey.
Talked about the importance of being able to shoot from outside if they're going to double team Tattoo inside, and here's that kind of power from the outside. Doc Lawson with Tattoo in there screening Tino Lettieri, the goaltender from Minnesota, from seeing the shot at least when it was hit, but enough power from Lawson to where it probably would have gone in anyway. After three quarters, we've got Dallas with 19-16 shots. And also want to remind you, as we get prepared for the start of the final 15 minutes of action, that the first home playoff game will be April 16th at Reunion. And you can order tickets at 787-2000 or 787-1500. That's Rainbow Ticketmaster or the Reunion Arena box office.
And we're back to play in quarter number 4 in the Sidekicks as they change ends, going from left to right as you watch it. Down by 2. Caskey rather, takes a little shove from Thompson, and the Strikers win it. Rote Vegas leaves this one for Katsoukas. Terry brings it down and looks for Usain. Uremovich behind him, and Usain says, "Hey, push me."
I would not be surprised to see Oscar Fabiani come in the ball game. He's been warming up on the bench and in the break. Fabiani is kind of like a DH in baseball, a little bit over the hill to play full shifts for a whole game, but in parts of games can do very well.
Had a couple of game winners for the Sidekicks this year, coming off some real nagging injuries that have bothered him, but he's got the warm-up jacket off, so he may very well come in, and he is a goal scorer. That's what he does for a living. And that's what Gordon Jago needs right now. 4-2 Minnesota. Nanchow down into the corner for Carpet. Moreland will regroup out to Uremovich. DeBrito looks inside, drops it off for Moreland. Inside Nanchow, and Goossens back heels it away. DeBrito digs it away from Katsoukas. Out in front now, Nanchow stays with it. Fans wanted a foul. Nanchow, Etherington. Uremovich fighting for it, and again they drop back on defense. And here they come the other way, Goossens and Byrne. They've got Etherington down deep, and the shot is a little wide. Now Evans trying to keep it away from Byrne. Back to Lawson. Tattoo replaces Uremovich on the field. DeBrito with cat and mouse for Evans. Hudson got the partial block, and Lettieri will clean it out.
A little bit of a mix-up there. Evans should not be caught inside being the postman. As you mentioned, Brad, he was posting up. And Dallas has got to get their offense a little bit back in balance, particularly on this line.
Lawson clears that away from Usain. Rote Vegas. Willie for Thompson. Usain. He's just such a threat. Here's Willie. He's pretty clever, too. Watch out here, Evans. Looking for McLeod. Lawson. Look out now. Hudson. Bounced, cleared by Evans down there right in the middle of the box. Evans saved a goal that time. Tattoo for Caskey on the overlap. Off the boards, out in front. Tattoo. As it's poked away, and Usain wins it. And they'll regroup. 11:34 left to play in regulation. 4-2 Minnesota. Rote Vegas. Back to Lettieri. Up ahead it goes for Goossens and Fogarty. And Byrne. Look out. Goossens. Uremovich is there before Hudson can get to it. Uremovich pokes it away from Etherington. But Goossens wins it here right in front of the Minnesota bench. And they'll call this one against Uremovich, or against Caskey, I guess, and it'll be the first Dallas foul of the fourth quarter. "11 minutes left to play in regulation." Fogarty, you could see him calling for help. Up ahead for Byrne. Moreland digging with him. David Byrne turns it around and turns it on. On the wing for Etherington. Willie. Alan Willie. Out in front. Just missed connections, and Tattoo breaks it up for Dallas.
Nevertheless, some of the brilliance of Alan Willie, though, as he took the ball inside under very difficult circumstances, not a lot of time, not a lot of space to do that. Doc Lawson slowing things down a little bit to try to give Tattoo a breather. Tattoo has to work so hard just to get himself open that once he gets the ball, he doesn't have a lot of energy left.
Lawson plays it back to Sobieski. 10 minutes left in regulation. Minnesota 4, Dallas 2. So look how far Sobieski's come out now to get involved in the offense. But Usian's great speed makes you be very cautious. Now, in fact, here it is. Sobieski in a dead sprint to get back in the goal mouth and makes the play on the run.
Add some excitement to it anyway.
I'll tell you that you got to really have the guts of a burglar to do that with Usian out there on the point, don't you? Tattoo looking for the back heel, and Lodevegas broke it up, and Evans will get to it. As Usian will turn just an ordinary play into a mistake with his speed.
They used to say about my play, you could turn an ordinary play into a mistake.
Not with your speed. You worked hard. You perfected that. Lawson and Sobieski. This is as close to a sixth attacker as you can get without actually pulling your keeper.
You've got Dallas in an overload. They've got all their players except for Tattoo on the right side, trying to get Tattoo matched up one-on-one and trying to get Sobieski to get the ball to Tattoo. Tattoo's come back deep now, almost at midfield.
And tells Sobieski to go ahead and let's dump it down low. They're running Carpin down into the post. Now they weave DeBrito down there. Evans, Tattoo. Tattoo! Oh, almost had a goal there. I thought we had one. Thought we were going to see a goal. But Tattoo gets it back. Off the board, Carpin.
Tattoo can take the most innocent-looking situations and create excitement in athletes, and that shot between Thompson's legs, we mentioned that ability, and there's the header by Carpin inside that went just wide.
You know, I didn't realize it until you look at that replay, but no wonder I almost said goal. The ball was headed in, and it rolled right up Lettieri's wrist and kind of up in the air. I mean, I thought it was in, and it was going that way. Lettieri got his hand on it, but didn't control it, and got the benefit of the lucky break. The ball rolled up the other way. That would have gone over his shoulder and in.
Fabiani now has come on the field for Dallas.
And here he is, bumped off the ball by Thompson, and here's Goosens. And Lodevegas, Hudson digging for it and winning it. But Moreland gets it back. Sidekicks trying to get the equalizer with Moreland, DeBrito, Uremovich, Kasky, and Fabiani. Byrne. This is Goosens. They've got a 2-on-1. Hudson to Byrne, and a goal.
Well, you mentioned Kenny Cooper watching this game tonight to scout it a little bit. One thing he said after they were beaten by Minnesota the other night is how well these Minnesota strikers finish when they get opportunities. Here's the pass to David Burr on the far side. He touches it once, little shoulder dip, and then pulls it to the near post and threads the ball in the eye of the needle and gets that goal for Minnesota. They just don't miss those great opportunities.
25 goals this year for Byrne. Kyle, you could see that coming when they broke away on that 2-on-1 breakaway. There was no way that the one defender could cover the two attackers and the ball.
Well, they have decided to make a commitment, Minnesota has, that whenever they get the ball, they're going to send the third man into the attack every time and risk leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back. At the Met Center here in Bloomington, Minnesota, it's Minnesota 5, Dallas 2. Back with more in just a moment.
Carpin for the Sidekicks. The shot, the save by Lettieri. And Hudson jumps on it. And Byrne. Time of that last goal, 7:40. Byrne and Hudson got on a 2-on-1 breakaway, and Byrne got the goal. So the Sidekicks are 3 down with 6:40 to play. And the cruel irony of a tight race in the standings, is if they lose this game, they could go from first place to third, even though it would only be a half game out. Tattoo's shot blocked again by Fogarty. And here comes Alan Willie. Now he'll slow down because it's 1-on-3. Well, it's 2-on-3 because Usian's with him. Evans trying to get to it. Now Katsoukas gets into play. And he and Lawson dig and dig. Katsoukas. Oh, Usian.
We'll give credit for this goal to Tasso Katsoukas, who continued to fight on the ball. Kept it down in the attacking zone for the Strikers. And finally forced another one-on-none situation. Let's take a look. Here it is. The fight with Doc Lawson. Katsoukas gets through, beats Lawson, which is not easy to do, and sets up Usian for another one-on-one. And from that range, it's about an 80% goal for very skilled soccer players, which is what the Minnesota Strikers are.
And the other thing Katsoukas did, and it takes reflexive action, when he saw Evans coming to play him to double team it, instead of following through with the shot, he changed in stride, in mid-leg swing, to push the ball over to Usian, who he then saw would be open because of the double team.
Oh, I'd love to hear this one. Gordon doesn't get upset very often, but he is incensed right now. It's one thing when you're fighting to climb the mountain. It's another thing when you're on top of the mountain, and he's really enjoying this, and the whole team is, for that matter. They've just made such a remarkable climb to the top of the Eastern Division. They don't want to lose that lofty perch, so to speak. I think the best thing, though, that he has done in the last year was bring Charlie Cook on. You know, Tom Landry always made sure he had the Mike Ditkas and the Gene Stallings, who had the emotional personalities, so that if Coach Landry couldn't get him with logic, they could get him with emotion, and Charlie's been able to do the same thing. Gordon is just such a great, classy man, and very knowledgeable about the game of soccer. But Charlie Cook has really added a fire to the coaching staff this year, and it's made a big difference. Sometimes you sweet talk players, other times you...
Known in the law enforcement business, yes, I believe, as good cop, bad cop.
Yes.
Or at least in the detective shows.
Yes.
Well, now the Sidekicks have really given themselves a mountain to climb. 4 goals down at 6-2 with 5:50 left to play in regulation. Usian with his 27th goal of the year. He is the leading scorer for Minnesota this year. Not the leading goal scorer. Alan Willie has that honor, but he is the leading scorer overall. And he has 2 points tonight, a goal and an assist. He assisted on Goosen's goal that made it 4-1 back in the third quarter. Now it's 6-2. Nanchoff's shot is broken up. The Sidekicks will be on to San Diego after this one. Lettieri scoops it up. You saw DeBrito go down in the heat.
Here's a 3-on-2.
Here's Rote Vegas on the wing. Usian off the post. Rote Vegas again. Keeping it alive for Usian. Rote Vegas can't hold that one, and here's Uremovich coming the other way. Looking for Fabiani, but Thompson has it. Moreland. McLeod to Uremovich. 4.5 minutes left. Moreland drills it in the corner. Looking for McLeod. Back again. Thompson. Moreland claims this one. 4:11 left to play. And it's cleared by Minnesota. Uremovich pops it into the stands. Kick in for the Strikers, and Evans, Kasky, Tattoo, and Carpin will bring fresh legs onto the field for Dallas.
One of the reasons that Dallas has done so well has been their record on the road, and 9-13 coming into tonight. Really only 3 other teams having better records on the road.
Sobieski gobbles that one up. Before the game gets away, we want to take just a second, since this is our last telecast of this regular season, to thank everybody at Channel 33 in Dallas and with the Sidekicks for helping put these programs on and making our work possible. So everybody at KDAF TV and everybody concerned with the telecast, Kyle and I want to thank you very much.
Certainly hope you've enjoyed the broadcast too and had some insights into the rest of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Now in the 8th season.
And don't forget, the season is a long way from over for the Sidekicks. The playoffs coming up, and they know they'll have their first home playoff game on April 16th at Reunion Arena. Against whom? Better wait till Saturday or Sunday to find that out. 2:57 left in regulation here. Rote Vegas for Minnesota. A little shove of Caskey. No whistle. Both players wanted to foul, and neither got it. Tattoo looking for help from Carpin. There he is, Carpin. Saved by Letary. I think Carpin still a little rusted. Shot blocked by Fogarty. There's so much time with that knee injury, Kyle. I don't think he's ever really gotten his skills fine-tuned yet. McLeod's shot is saved by Letary, who also grabs Carpin in the balance. Burn the other way, and Uremovich gets to it first. 2:19 to play. And with this one, the Sidekicks will fall a half game behind Minnesota and Cleveland, who will now be tied for first place in the MISL's Eastern Division. Dallas will fall to 25 and 22. The Strikers and the Force at 25 and 21. A minute 42 left to play. This is Sobieski way out halfway. Sobieski dumps it for Uremovich. Out in front and headed into the stands by Fabiani.
Well, that's some of the frustration of Chris Sobieski, coming down and just trying to do something to get some more offense out of the team tonight. This has been a little bit out of character, particularly in the Dallas-Minnesota series. As we've mentioned, Dallas in aggregate with 7 more goals in the series, leading the series 3-2 in games, including that 8-1 victory up here last time.
In fact, that's one thing that's a little unusual in this respect, because Dallas has had a couple of 8-goal games against the Strikers this year. Tonight they've been held to 2, and I thought Minnesota really did a good job of deciding very early on they weren't going to let Tattoo beat him, even though he got the 1 goal. They, as you pointed out, they really kind of made it a point of keeping him shielded from the ball in a dangerous situation.
If Dallas is going to beat you, make them beat you from the outside. Don't let them do it from inside. Of course, also defensively, all their forwards have done terrific work tonight too, and they've been very honest in defense.
You saw the shoving going on, and they're going to call the foul on the Sidekicks. It's their second. Tattoo pulls himself to his feet. A minute 13 left to play in regulation. Minnesota 6, Dallas 2. Playoffs begin next week. A minute 5 left in regulation. Rote Vegas has it poked away by DeBrito. Tattoo to Nanchoff on the wing. They've got all their scoring threats in there now. Tattoo, DeBrito, and Nanchoff playing together. 49 seconds left. This is Letary. He's going to have a good time. Let's dribble. Tino. 3-on-1. Caskey, the only defender, shoves Etherington. Letary wants to score a goal.
Bad foul, though, and nothing was called. There's an open net.
But it's cleared by Thompson. Letary still running under it. And the foul called at the other end with 30 seconds left. Here's Tino.
I'll tell you what. And other times in other places, that's adding insult to the injury of having lost. And if people just didn't know how spacey this guy was, I think they would. You know, even Dallas expects it now. So
got Sukas out in front. And it's run down by Byrne. Now Katsoukas. Thompson with 13 seconds left in the game. Evans breaks it up. 8 seconds left. Tattoo. And the game is over. And the Sidekicks fall from a first-place tie to a half game out and in third place with lots of action yet to go in the 3 days remaining in the MISL Eastern Division race. Our final score tonight at the Met Center, the Minnesota Strikers 6, the Dallas Sidekicks 2. Our final word when we come back. Final score again tonight in Minnesota. The Strikers winning it over the Sidekicks 6-2. Not the result Gordon Jago wanted tonight, Kyle, but they've got to put it behind them with the playoffs coming up.
And again, we want to remind you the playoffs on April the 16th. That kickoff time, 7:35 at Reunion. That will be the first of what we hope will be many playoff games at Reunion. The Dallas Sidekicks in only their second season into the playoffs, which, again, is a surprise in the MISL. A lot of people very pleased to see that. Those are the ticket numbers you can call and get information on ticket prices as well as seat locations.
Once again, our thanks to everyone involved in all of these telecasts this season. And the Sidekicks with one regular season game to play Saturday night in San Diego. And then keep your eyes and ears open. You'll know all about the playoff standings and where they'll be playing, who they'll be playing first. How do you think they'll do quickly in the playoffs?
Well, Brad, one thing about tonight's game, much like Cleveland's the other night, Gordon Jago, I'm sure, is going to feel he's got to find a silver lining. What did we learn? They learned against Cleveland that they can't play high-pressure defense. Tonight, I think, against Minnesota, they learned they can't commit as many people to the offense as they did because they set themselves up for the counterattacks that really sprung Minnesota loose.
Final score again tonight, the Minnesota Sidekicks, not yet, the Minnesota Strikers 6 and the Dallas Sidekicks 2. For Kyle Rote, this is Brad Sham, and our final again from the Met Sports Center, 6-2 Minnesota. Dallas Sidekicks Indoor Soccer has been brought to you by your Dallas-Fort Worth Chrysler Plymouth dealers, where we don't want to be the biggest, just the best. By Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper, both with that great, out-of-the-ordinary taste. By Bud Light, the light beer with the first name in taste. Everything else is just a light. And by Steve Kruzmark and his associates at Angel & Associates, representing the leader in low-cost life and disability insurance, the Quiet Company. Good night from Minnesota.
I'm not normal.
You're confused. You don't even know which hair color you want, do you?
Jim would probably say...
Tonight at 10 on TV33.
They...